Hi, this is Mr. G here. I tell you what, have you ever thought of growing a beard for a whole year? At least 365 days? That's a long time. Well, I have a guest here with us on our first show, Growing a Beard for a Year. His name is Richard Glassford II. And he's here to share with us some of the tips and tricks, the do's and the don'ts, and the joys of growing one's facial hair for an entire year. So stay tuned and we'll see what this beardsman has to offer all of us that would love to grow something for a whole year. All right, thank you, Richard Glassford, for taking the time to come in and meeting with me. Appreciate you doing that. So our viewers have a couple questions for you. Number one, when was the first time you decided to grow a beard? First time I grew a beard was, I'd say about 25, 30 years ago. And it was just for a couple of weeks during the holiday. That was the first time. I've had mustaches and things, and goatees, but never a full beard. I heard your beard has a name. Is that true? Well, I've had a number of names for beards. This is the Enchanted Forest. It was named by my son. I've had the Epic and a couple other names, but this is definitely the Enchanted Forest. That is awesome. Everyone should name their beard. And if you're growing a beard, you gotta name it. So tell us the main reason why you grew a beard. Well, I grew this beard in honor of my father, and I grew with my son-in-laws, and Jim Anderson was the only one that stuck it through the whole time. And so we decided, in fact, a year ago, probably this past week, that we were going to attend the Austin World Championship. And when we booked our room, that's when it really became real. So have you had a lot of compliments on that massive beard of yours? Well, I do get some compliments. I get a lot of this kind of thing. Kind of like that, where they see and then look away because they don't want to stare. The little kids, they look and stare, particularly in November and December, because of the Santa thing. I do get sometimes where people will come up to me and say, "Man, that's a cool looking beard," or, "Oh, I have a friend that has a beard kind of like yours," and will pull it up and show it to me. And so I think for the most part, people have enjoyed, seeing me with a beard for this long, because this is very unusual for me growing it this long, growing an actual yeared. So what are some of the funniest reactions you've gotten with this beard? In particular, people coming up to me and saying that's the most beautiful beard I've ever seen. One, to touch it, which is kind of awkward. I've not let anyone touch it, but they reach up and try to touch, and I'm trying to do, one of these, kind of a Remo Williams thing. That's good. It is so amazing. Why would you want to cut off such an amazing beard? Well, I've reached my goal. My goal was a year, and I decided, that I would probably trim after Worlds. I could see that. And I didn't. I kept it and decided to grow all the way to December. So that's an extra couple of months, and they say you should kind of wait before you cut a while to make sure that's what you wanted to do. So I've reached my goal. But you have so much length, volume, and it kind of shimmers. Ready for something new. I'll grow again next year for sure. Probably not this long, but I've reached my goal and ready to have a different look. Yeah, it looks awesome, dude. So besides being just ready for maybe a visual change, I would like to be able to eat, and not have food all over my face. I'd like to be able to brush my teeth without getting everything in my hair. I'd like to be able to turn, in sleeping without getting it caught on things. And so yeah, I just maybe a break from that intensity of hair all around the mouth. So what are some of the emotions that you are feeling as you consider shaving this beard?
Loss.
Yeah.
Loss of the forest.
No, I've tried to shave it off 2 or 3 times during the holiday break because I told my wife that the 25th is when I'm going to shave, and I just couldn't do it. I could not even get out the razor to do any trimming at all. I know it tugs at my heartstrings to see it go. It's kind of like you bring it up and then it's one of those things. It's very, very difficult, even though you know your goal is up and it's time for that different look. And it's a hard thing to do, especially when someone's standing there next to you saying, "Do you really want to shave? Are you sure you're ready?" Viewers, what do you think? And then you go, "Am I ready? Is the Enchanted Forest ready?" And it's a hard thing, but I'm ready now. Gonna regrow. So that's the nice thing is people shave them off all the time and regrow them, and they wonder, well, you got it to this long. Why aren't you just keep going? Well, it's time, and you'll know when it's time if you're growing a yeard. All right, I've heard a lot about a yeard. What is a yeard? That's a good question. A yeard essentially is growing your beard without trimming or shaving for a year, 365 days. It's a long time. And technically, it should be not touching any of those hairs, letting them grow with 0 trimming. Without trimming your mustache, I firmly believe you can't trim your mustache, nothing. And that's a commitment, because when it starts getting in your mouth, and you're learning to kind of move it out of the way and kind of keep it in place, with your hands using oils and maybe some waxes if needed. But it's a 0 trim activity. All right. And there's always an awkward time, when you're growing a beard as it starts to fill in. But yeah, no touch. Keep those clippers away. Yeah. So what challenges would a fellow beardsman encounter if they were going to grow a yeard? 365 days, as you mentioned, without a trim or touching a razor. Number 1, significant others, your partner, you have to be able to convince that and to buy into the yeard. Yeah, you for sure probably won't get as much sugar or glucose or C6H12O6 or one of those, I imagine. Yeah, get some people to grow with you. Don't just do it alone. Have a support group. Have goals. Set goals throughout the experience. And I tried 3 to 4 years. Wow. And I kept getting closer and closer. I'd go 6 months. And normally I would grow a beard for 4 to 6 months. But 6 months, then I grew 7 months. And then I think it was 8.5, and then I couldn't grow it any longer. But I didn't have the commitment and the support group, to take me to the yeard. Skin sensitivity was a big issue for me. I get a very sensitive skin. Everyone gets an itch, and kind of a little uncomfortable skin at the very beginning, as you start to grow your beard. I've developed some techniques, some ways to keep my skin more healthy underneath the beard, because your beard will only maximize its full potential if you keep the skin and the body healthy. And so some techniques that I've used, some products that I have found successful for my skin. Also making sure that you have brushes and combs, and the time in the morning. You need some time to wash, to shampoo your beard, to condition it, to oil it. So it takes anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes of my day. Wow. Every day. to maintain it, because you don't want to grow a beard and just let it get gnarly and then go into work and have it look like you just woke up, because when you just wake up it can be all over the place. So proper maintenance, also keeping your hair trimmed, have a good nice trimmed haircut as well with the beard, makes it look like you're growing a beard and you're not just deciding to not shave. There's a difference between not shaving, right, and growing a beard. It's completely different. You're taking care of your beard. Not shaving is just letting it go and not be maintained. Those are some really big considerations. So I heard you had a rough experience with a dentist. Heard it was called the close encounter. Will you elaborate on what actually happened?
That's an understatement. That was crazy. So went in to get a teeth cleaning and just x-rays, checkup stuff. And I told them before I came in that I have a fairly large beard. It started off pretty good, and then once they stuck the plastic thing in my mouth, some of the hairs got stuck underneath and into the mouth, and it was just mayhem. Okay, with the hairs, they were everywhere. They were being pulled on and tugged on. Half of them were pushed up into my nostrils. And are you serious? Yeah, it was quite the experience. Get all the dental work done prior to starting the year. Go in and get your checkups, get your cavities filled, get your caps done, whatever you need to do, because they'll be yanking on that the whole time. I mean, they need to do their job. I mean, the forest was in the way, so they had to push down the trees, so to speak. That's a good tip, fellow beardsmen. Get it all done, drill in, all that stuff. Yeah, that's a good one.